Thank you guys for coming to be here. All right, this is kind of weird. And I have to memorize this, so bear with me. As you all know, I'm about to transition from being the GPSS president, which is a pretty high-profile position, to being just an ordinary PhD student, which is a pretty low-profile position. So many people in my department especially have asked me, how do you feel about being done with GPSS? And others, among them current senators, have asked me more critically, so what have you accomplished? Unlike the second question, the first question is easily answered. I'm very happy to have had the opportunity to work for GPSS, and I'm sad to leave. I had a pretty steep learning curve this year, and I think my job is one of the most exciting jobs at USC, at least for a graduate student. But contrary to widespread belief, I'm not married to GPSS, which means there's a life after the breakup for both me and GPSS. And I'm very confident that GPSS is in good hands. What about the second question, the more important question? What have I achieved? Or rather, what have we achieved? We, the Senate and the Executive Board, 2009-2010. Well, I don't want to boast too much, but I actually think there's quite a few things that we have achieved this year. So let me just name a few examples. We had a very successful year on HSC, both in terms of programming, and all the HSC people at this table, everywhere here in the room, both in terms of programming as well as in terms of advocacy. We're asking for a lot of input on the HSC master plan, a pretty radical makeover of the entire campus, making the campus more pedestrian-friendly and more welcoming to students. Also, we revamped our elections procedure. Our elections meeting this year took 2.5 hours instead of 4.5 hours last year, which made our voters very happy. I'm also very proud that we built a relationship with the Health Insurance Office and participated in the advisory committee meetings, which means we have direct impact on the decisions as to what health plan USC adopted for its students. Graduate events and topics got way more coverage in the Daily Trojan, thanks to our editor, Tiffany Wu, also present at this reception. We controversially secured naming rights for a graduate student lounge in the Ronald Tudor Campus Center. I'm not happy with the $200,000, and I don't know anyone who is, except maybe the people who planned it. But I'm happy that graduate students finally have a designated area in the center of our campus. We're interested in what our constituents think about us. Second page. We have the first ever leadership retreat for graduate students, because we think that graduate students are interested in leadership, developing their leadership skills, and they actually are, at least some of them. We built a relationship
of our shell, gaining significant publicity in the Daily Trojan, collaborating on numerous projects with USG, and making our organization and the needs of graduate students known to administrators across campus. Under Johannes' leadership, the 2009-2010 Executive Board and the Senate were an amazing team, going above and beyond the call of duty, and I'm truly thankful to have had the opportunity to work with all of you this year and to serve as president for the incoming year. I believe this is an extremely exciting time in the history of GPSS. Building on the ideas, projects, and relationships we have established this year, I know we will achieve even greater success in the future. As many of you know, next month we are moving our office to the second floor of the beautiful new campus center, where we will have much greater exposure to the student body. I am thrilled to be moving into the new space, as we will be sharing it with our colleagues in Program Board and USGs, allowing us to work side by side and further establish these collaborative relationships that we've been working on this year. I believe that this change in the physical location of our offices will open up a new chapter for GPSS, one in which we can realize our full potential to reach out to all graduate students. I'd like to take a moment to share with you my personal experience as a graduate student at USC. I came here in the fall of 2008, excited. I struggled with this reality and agonized over a decision of whether or not to stay at USC and finish my PhD here. As the last geography senator, though, I was fortunate, because my involvement in GPSS helped me to find a sense of belonging to a greater graduate student community on campus, and to form many important friendships with students in other departments. If it weren't for this organization and the supportive community I've found here, I don't know if I would have chosen to stay at USC. So although we, as GPSS, often emphasize our roles for graduate student advocacy and funding events and conference travel for graduate students, I want to call attention to another very important function of GPSS, and that is to facilitate and foster the sense of graduate student community here at USC. Despite the fact that we make up more than 50% of the student population here, graduate students seem to have a more difficult time connecting to the Trojan family than undergraduates do. Now, maybe that's partially because we want to spend all our time reading the academic journal articles and practicing our academic jargon, but I happen to be a firm believer that we could and should have lives outside of study. So I know from my own experience that GPSS can play a huge role in allowing interdepartmental friendships to blossom and to provide opportunities to learn to balance your lifestyle, even as a graduate student. Graduate school can certainly be challenging, and sometimes it's reassuring to know that there are others out there going through the same trials as you are. I would like to enhance our role in providing graduate students with a strong, supportive community at USC, and I believe our new location in the campus center will be a strong asset in this mission. Although I'm trying to go on and on about all the things I'm eager to do as GPSS president, and the many opportunities that I see for us on the horizon, I'm just as excited as you are to get to the fun stuff, so I'm going to wrap things up. That fuels the fire to keep us going, to keep learning, to keep achieving. So now we're going to move into the awards part of the ceremony. So I'm actually, along with Abhinav Chandra, I think we come up here, we're going to be presenting the first award. And I think Rosetta, do you have the here I go. Okay, here the awards come. So the first award that we're going to be presenting is for Outstanding Undergraduate Student. And we actually have two for this category, and I'm presenting the first one. This person is someone I've personally worked with this past year, and he's done a really outstanding job in trying to build up some of our, namely our sustainability programs here on campus. But he's very active in a lot of campus committees, and he's just been really good to work with for GPSS. It's been a great collaboration. It's really a good asset for the undergraduate student government this year. I'd like to present it to John Baldwin.
Thank you so much. Yo, can you take the... Just click it. Click it. Yeah.
Hi. Over a year back, I'd gone to the Daily Trojan, and nobody in Daily Trojan even knew what GPS is good for, let alone know what we do. But then, a year after, everyone in DT, and not just in DT, a significant number of students in USC now know what GPSS is and what we stand for. And a prime reason for that is Tiffany Wu. She is the editor-in-chief, the boss of Daily Trojan, and when I met her a year back, she was determined to raise the bar set by the ones who preceded her. And after a year, she set it up pretty significantly. So I'd like to present this award to Tiffany as an acknowledgement for the partnership that she's built with GPSS, which has not been there for several years, for the support for the